Today marks the 7th day in a row of price manipulation. Judging from price action alone, a floor may be close, but there are several confirmations required in order for us to call that. Let's go over the chart details for an edge over the coming sessions. Welcome back to the channel on this Taco Tuesday. This is ARCa, and let's dive into ticker symbol FNGR. Let's kill 'em, team. What is up, you guys, and welcome back to the channel. Let's go ahead and dive into ticker symbol FNGR. And what you are observing here is actually the 1 minute chart here over the span of the last 7 days. So this, I separated them here by color with dates and with the iterations of manipulation right down here. Oh yeah, if you hear a little tiny voice there, that's actually the little co-host here. The little guy may be saying hello, making sure that we are trading appropriately on the trading floor. Right. So, all right. So, yeah, every single individual color was every single individual day was itemized here by color. And also I noted several of the iteration counts. Now, I must warn you, though, that not every single manipulation count was taken here. I just wanted to make sure that I had at least 2 or 3 manipulation signals per day. Right. So this is well, with the exception of this one here. Right. But yes. This is what it's looking like right now, and I'm actually getting curious to see if I can go back even further to see if we've had any consecutive, manipulation days like this, because this is just enormous here. And well, I guess let's dive into today, right? So, if you are curious, it's the ARQ algorithm here, Composure, that has given us the ability to see the manipulation counts here. So this is Composure right over here. And what I did on the settings of Composure, if I know that there are subscribers to the ARQ series algorithms here. So what I did here is that I removed every other signal here. Every other signal does have its own purpose too, of course, right? But the one that, the one that a lot of people are most interested in are actually the yellow crosses for the manipulation signals, right? So what I did here is I clicked on this arrow and I put it down to the bottom instead of above the bar or below the bar, right? Bars being the candles here. So what I did here is I put them down here just so that we can clearly see that the iterations of manipulation are in fact there, right? So again, remember that these iteration counts are dependent on time frame, right? So for example, let me see if I go into the buy minute. Here we go, right? So actually I missed one right there. So every single one has a different set of manipulations because it's just counted differently, executed differently, whatever it may be, right? So I just left it here on the minute chart here because it actually more or less it shows all of them, or all of them. It shows a majority of them, right? So as it usually does fall within this time period or time frame. All right, so now that we know what that is, let's go ahead and get in touch with the next chart here. And you know what? Actually, I think I would rather start with this one first. So what you're observing here is actually the linear regression channel, right? So I made a small modification to this indicator because it already pre-exists in the it already exists in TradingView as a free indicator. I made modifications to the colors and also to the mid bands to fit my trading style a little better. And it was actually Cryptic Trader actually pointed out to me that the Dash Trader linear regression channels, I think it was Dash Trader, if not, it was another platform, had mid bands in between the mid bands. So I went ahead and modified the code, and I have it now as the ARCa LRC, right? So LRC being right here, ABT or ARCa Trading LRC for linear regression channel. So this indicator is actually going to be one of my gifts to you upon enrolling to the ArcMastersCourse, right? So please go ahead and get in touch with me, as there are, I think, only 5 or 6 seats left for out of the 30 that I offered. Okay, team. So go ahead and do that as soon as you can if you are interested on that 16-week mentorship due to start the first or second week of November. Okay, team. So please, let's go ahead and now notice a very important detail here. First of all, yes, we are observing another ARQ algorithm here, and this is DBSI. So DBSI is telling us that right now the bears are controlling 59%. So, and the bulls are actually sitting at 41%, right? So this cumulative score is given to us by taking count of every single candle beneath the taking a score of every single candle beneath the EMA 13 represented by the white line versus the candles printed above the EMA 13. So it's set to a particular time frame, right? It back tests at least, I think, a month or less, and it gives us the score for the based on that look back period. So now that we have that score, and we're seeing here that the bears are 59% on the lead, we can go ahead and use the linear regression channel to see where the hourly candle close happened. So you can see here that the hourly candle closed beneath the mid band, and that usually is a pretty bearish thing. I mean, if we were to, it doesn't always work, but we have to kind of keep in mind here that there is a possibility of this actually coming back down and testing some relevant supports. I guess if I'm looking at random targets right down here using the linear regression channel and historical price action, I think that we would be able to, let me see here. Yeah, I think, let me give you this support. Yeah, I think that this, in the immediate short-term time frame, this could actually drop to, yeah, I think I'd feel safer saying that, right? 527 to 528 could be a temporary area of support before a continuation to the upside, right? I mean, we would have to actually determine only then what the price action is going to do, right? Because there's a lot of sell-off happening, there's a lot of downside happening. So this is shocking momentum towards the downside. So while momentum pertains or belongs to the downside, the bears are going to try to take advantage of every single closure that has a bearish feel to it, right? So let's go ahead and move on to the next chart and observe this, right? So this is the 10-minute time frame, and we were talking about this yesterday, particularly because of this falling wedge. Now, we did meet, I guess, the first target, the second target that we mentioned, and also we got very close. So I guess like 2 3/4 targets we got right from the 3 targets that we were talking about, right? So yeah, the top one would have been 586. Price action ended up resisting at 580 or 579 to be exact, and then it started selling off. Okay, so I guess it was fair enough that it did get this, but still with the iterations or manipulation counts, it's kind of difficult for the asset to continue onto the upside. Not only that, is that I think let me revert back over here and take a look at something for us, right? Yeah, not only that, it's just that as you can see right over here, let me get rid of the drawings entirely and show just the price action, right? So you can see that the SPY has been bleeding heavily, and that can also apply some pressure to the tickers here. Okay, so because the sell-offs are actually more aggressive than not. So now regarding this chart here, there's a very important signal on the daily chart here. First of all, the daily EMA 55, so it's the 55-day exponential moving average, has now kind of converted itself into a resistance, right? Same with the SMA 50, very small little line right there, right? The SMA 50 is the 50-day simple moving average. Now, you can see down here that we were holding that 540, that 544 at the 2.618 for the majority of the day until the last part of the session, to where we ended up selling off. I did mention that there could be a continuation to the downside, and I have been asking for us to observe the target of around 485, just in case price action did go there. I'm not sure. I'm still not sure that I can go all the way down that low, but I would really like for you to kind of pay attention to the SMA 100 on the daily time frame, as it is sitting at $4.83, and the 3 spot 618 golden mean is sitting at $4.87. Okay, so that is incredibly important for us to notice, because there could be a continuation to the downside here, and there is a possibility to where we can use this area here as a potential bounce zone, kind of like what I talked about in the introduction of this video, pointing out the possibility of a floor being found. And if I were to put maybe a regression here, I think that that's connected directly with that time frame. So with that pullback, right? So let me see if I can connect these. Actually, you know what? I think I would be using. Let's see. Let me try to connect it as best as possible. I cannot force any type of, diagonal lines are already kind of an issue in the first place, right? So that's already something that we have to kind of be careful with, right? So I think this would probably be the best type of connection here, getting the contact here, connected to this trend line here, getting another contact, and then looking at this potential candle dropping down to that area there. So that would point out anywhere between 479 to 487 as a potential bounce zone. Okay, so if we were looking at this in the next day, I mean, it is possible. The 487 does have kind of a range in there. Let me 478. Sorry, let me see. I want to see how well it connects to other. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is pretty. Yeah, definitely. All the way to the left over there, that's an enormous amount of support that there was. I mean, before it collapsed to the ground there. But yeah, I would say right around there. 487 to 478 could be a zone of interest here. And I'm just gonna go ahead and mark it off right here, right? So 487 to about 478. We'll keep an eye on that, and it's also in line with the regression here, right? So I guess we shall see what that is. You know what? What's funny is that it's also part of this pennant that we realized towards the upside, right? So, and then this capybara event here, we ended up coming back down to test the newly converted resistance into a support before bouncing again to the upside. So this bounce here connected to all of these iterations here, and now the next bounce may be from there. So that's why I'm saying potential floor. Okay, so let's see if we can actually get that to respect. But I guess in all generalities and in all let's see, in all respect to the price action, it is still essentially a series of higher lows. So, not bad, right? So I think that the next higher low was not this one here. It would definitely be somewhere around here, as the even the time intervals are kind of matching to that, right? So I guess we shall see in the coming days. Let's move on to the next chart here and see what's going on. So the daily time frame Gaussian band. This is a very bearish thing, right? So when we are crossing beneath that, we sat there, right, at the 540, 538 zone for some time. We said 537 yesterday, and it did kind of reach down to that 538 and bounced right off of that and consolidated there within the 3 spot 618 at the 544 that we mentioned at the beginning of the analysis thread here. I'm not even going to remember exactly where that was, but it's all good. Right, so we consolidated there for a little bit before actually failing it once again. Now, the shorter time frames, though, those are showing a potential bottom too. So, for example, here the 12-hour time frame is showing 506, while the 8-hour time frame is showing a target of about either $5 or 501. Now, seeing that we do have that, I mean, the 501 would be located right up here, right underneath the 3 spot 272. I think that would be a temporary bounce, right, to test our market close at 522 before continuing to this zone here. Okay, so and then the 8-hour time frame would look more like this, right? So where we just fail it for a little bit and reclaim it. That's what I'm thinking that the 8-hour time frame Gaussian band would look like. Right, so I'm not seeing any reason for us to drop all the way down to 441, as that would be an invalidation of an upside here, and this would be that invalidation zone 451. We should really look out for not closing any type of daily candle beneath that zone there. as there would be there would be some pretty intense downside targets to look at. First of all, 396 would be next after closing a daily beneath 451. Okay, team, so let's go ahead and move on to the next chart here. And I do, you know what? Let me pull up the hourly here and see what that is. Yeah, just to give the linear regression bands some more credibility. All of the moving averages are currently serving as resistance above us right now and closing beneath the mid band. So very likely there could be a continuation to the downside in the immediate short term. So now the RSI, this is the last part of the analysis here, and this is, I mean, dangerous. The 30-minute RSI here, dangerously close to the gravitational zone here of the bear weakness percentile. This zone here is usually pretty bearish, right? But this is kind of consolidating a little bit here. So let me see the 5-minute time frame. All right, 5-minute time frame in the gravitational zone here could get pulled down. See the 10. The 10-minute time frame does have a little bit of an upside here. Let's see the 15. 15-minute is consolidation, slight upside. And yeah, we were just at the 30-minute. Now the bi-hourly time frame is actually showing a downside bias. However, it has crossed above the SMA 14, but it has the pivot slightly to the downside. Okay, so actually, oh man, see how this is sort of pivoted towards the upside. This one's pivoted towards the downside. This one's pivoted towards the upside. And then you have you leading into the day, or ideally you have this pivoted towards the downside. That is usually indecision. The markets really don't know what, or the sentiment. Psychology doesn't really know where we could be going. For example, here on the I mean, I would really like a smaller body here, but this is a spinning top doji, right? On the bi-hourly time frame, that shows that there is indecision in the markets. There's not a definitive direction being given right now. Here's another thing, right? So we had a massive 8-hour reversal candle. This is an inverted hammer that would present a continuation to the upside, but didn't, and then printed another hammer candle that would indicate a continuation to the upside. So you see what I mean, where there's just so much indecision. We're going to have to observe this in the AM and see what happens here, okay, team? But I would like to point out that on this chart here, the one that we've been using for quite some time, I already had focused those supports. Check this out. 488 to 508 with a focus of 501. So that 501 focus could be that temporary bounce, right? Get that 522 resistance, then back down to the area of what now I'm looking at as 478, 480, 483, 485, those kinds of targets there, right? So I was already kind of within that vicinity anyway. So I would express some danger here, and I would really watch out betting against the asset, because it's getting close to a potential floor, like I said. Okay, so please be very careful. There's no guarantee that that floor is in fact going to be in. I just want to share that with you first. Okay, team. Please take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as just a form of entertainment, as I cannot suggest for you to buy, sell, or hold any assets whatsoever. I need you to do your own due diligence, and everything would be absolutely cool. But with that said, team, I wish you well, a very, very good rest of your night, and I shall catch you at the bell mañana. Adios.